Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Kendall Flynn with your news headlines. There are just 35 days to go before the election, and the border will be a big issue for many voters. Macy Markham in Washington tells us more about a proposition on the ballot to put Arizona police on the front lines of immigration enforcement.
Illegal entry into the United States is already a federal crime. If voters in Arizona approve Proposition 314, state and local police could detain anyone suspected of being in the country illegally. Critics are calling the bill a show me your papers law and warn that U.S. citizens could get caught in the dragnet too, especially if they have a foreign accent or brown skin. But State Senator John Kavanaugh says Border Patrol needs help.
The federal government does not appear to be capable of controlling entries, illegal entries between ports of entry. They are overwhelmed with people who are trying to enter illegally and by people claiming asylum who have bogus asylum claims.
Asylum claims peaked last year at 248,000. Roughly 80% of those asylum seekers were allowed to stay in the U.S., though conservatives like Kavanaugh say most of these claims don't meet the legal threshold for asylum, and he rejects the idea that Prop 314 would lead to racial profiling. Saul Ruscon Salazar grew up in Arizona after his family came from Mexico before he started kindergarten. Now with Aliento, a group that advocates for undocumented immigrants, he says Prop 314 would create a divide.
It would plant the seed for fear to go to the grocery store, as simple as that sounds, which then trickles down to people not feeling safe, people not feeling a trust with the community, whether that's police officers, first responders and like in the medical field.
Salazar says police are already stretched thin, and adding immigration enforcement will only make it worse. Proposition 314 is modeled after a similar law in Texas, SB 4. That law has caused strained diplomatic relations with Mexico and is on hold pending a ruling from a federal appeals court. City councils in Dallas and Austin have condemned the law, and Austin says they won't enforce it. Arizona tried something similar back in 2010, a controversial law known as Senate Bill 1070 that was ultimately blocked in the courts. In Washington, Macy Markham, Cronkite News.